So today I'm going to show you how to blow dried from the lateral saphenous vein. So the materials that you'll need for this is alcohol. We're going to be using a vacutainer, and we have our collection tubes. So Rayanne is holding, and right now she's occluding the vein, which is making it more visible for me to see. So what I'm going to do first is just spray some alcohol onto the site. And then when you're putting the needle in, you always want to make sure that the bevel is pointing up. And we're just going to put it right in. So we have it in, and when you're doing your collection tubes, we're going to do the red first, and then we're going to do the purple. So we're gently inverting the tube as we're collecting it. So we're going to switch to the purple tube. And just gently invert it. Alright, so we have that. You're going to pull the needle out and apply pressure, and that is how you do a blood draw. Hi, so today I'm going to show you how to run a PT test. This test evaluates the extrinsic and common coagulation pathways. So we have our cartridge, and we have this has been sitting out for about a half hour because we need to get it to room temperature. We have our blood sample that we took in the sodium citrate tube, and we have our pipette. So what we're going to do is insert the cartridge into the coag analyzer. And then once you insert it into the machine, it's also warming up in the analyzer, so you have to wait before you can add your blood sample. So we're just going to wait for it to warm up. And I have the blood sample ready for it. Okay, so now we can add our sample. Right, and now that our sample is in, we are going to press start. The test is running now, and then we will come back and read the results. Okay, so now that the PT test is done running, we can come to the vet station and read our results. So as you can see, it's 14 seconds and it's within normal range. And that is how you do a PT test. Hi, so today I'm going to show you how to properly make a blood smear. So what you'll need for that is a blood sample, and you will need some clean glass slides. So what you're going to do first is you're going to want to apply a very small amount of blood to the edge of the slide. And you don't need that much to make a proper blood smear. And then what you're going to want to do next is you're going to take another clean slide, and you're going to want to place it at an angle and draw it back till you get to the blood. And once all the blood has been absorbed onto that sample, you're going to push forward quickly to make your slide. So we have that slide here, and we have the feathered edge. And then what you're going to want to do is just let it air dry so that all the cells stick to the slide. Okay, so now that our slide has finished air drying, we can now go ahead and stain it. So what we're going to do is we're going to stain it with 3 different stains. We're going to start with the blue, then we're going to move on to the red stain, and then we're going to finish with the purple stain. And for to stain it, we're going to put it in for about 10 seconds for each dye. So here we go. Now we're going to move on to the red. And then we're going to move on to the purple. And then we're just going to pat it down a little just to get the dye off. And then what you want to do is you want to rinse the slide, not on the side that the blood is on, but on the opposite side. You just want to rinse it a little just to get the water, get the water off. So we're just going to rinse it a little. And then we are going to let it sit and air dry, and then we can evaluate the slide under the microscope. Okay, so now that our blood smear has dried, we can now put it under the microscope for evaluation. So we're going to put it under the microscope. And then when reading the blood smear, you always want to start at the lowest magnification and work your way up. And then when doing the differential count, you want to look at the monolayer of the blood smear. That's where you can see most of the cells. And then when doing the differential count, you want to count 100 white blood cells. And what you'll be looking for are neutrophils, band neutrophils, endophils, lymphocytes, monocytes, and basophils. Basophils are rarely ever seen in cats and dogs, so that's not something you typically see. And what you're also looking at platelets and getting that count as well. And then when doing the differential cell count, you want to make sure you do it in oil immersion, so the magnification is 1000. And so we're going to do that now. Hi, so today I'm going to be showing you how we're going to run a Chem 19, CBC, SCMA, and a total T4. So we have all our clips here. We have the Catalyst, SCMA, and total T4. We have our Light 4, and we have our Chem 15. So we have it requested already in our IDEX Vet Lab station. So I'm just going to click on the pet's name, and I'm going to hit run. And we are going to select our machine. So we're going to be using our ProCyte and our Catalyst. So I've selected both machines, and I'm going to hit run. So we're going to do the ProCyte, and we're going to run our CBC. So I'm just going to put the collection tube right in there, and then just close it, and that's running. And then we're going to do our Catalyst. So I'm going to open it up here. I'm going to take our clips out. So I'm going to take out our Light 4 clip. And just place it in the machine. And then we're going to do our Chem 15. Alright, and we're going to put that in. Make sure that they're all lined up. And then we're going to be doing our SCMA and total T4. And I just have to grab our serum. So I'm going to grab a tube and our blood and a pipette. I'm just going to put it here, and I'm going to fill it up. And then you just want to make sure that you don't get any air bubbles in, so I'm just going to take that out now. Now that we have that set, I'm just going to put the serum right in here. We're going to close it, and now our test is running, and we'll come back to it and read our results. Okay, so now that the test is done running, we can look at our results. So we're just going to click on her name and hit view and go to the Catalyst 1, and you can see we have all our different levels here. We have the glucose, creatinine, BUN, just all of those levels there. And that is how you run a chemistry test. Hi, so today I'm going to show you how to run a VetScan Flex 4 rapid test. So this tests for 4 different things. It tests for the canine heartworm antigen, it tests for Ehrlichia, it tests for Lyme, and it tests for the anaplasma antibodies. So the materials we need for it is the test itself. We have the buffer, a pipette, and our blood sample. So what we're going to do first is we're going to open the test.
But even if you do, because if this test comes back inconclusive, there's another hormone test.
Then it has 2 different wells. We're going to put 1 drop of blood in each well using the pipette.
So cost-wise, and the other option would be possibly ultrasound. Is it as like conclusive as?
So we're going to do 1 drop in the first well and then 1 drop in the second well. And that's all we need for the blood sample. And then using the buffer, we're going to put 3 drops in each well. 1, 2, 3, and then 3 drops in the second well. 1, 2, 3. And then after that, we are going to put it into our reader and we are going to run the test. So we have it in the reader. We're going to time the test. And now it's just verifying the test type. All right, so we have our timer and we'll come back in 10 minutes and read the results. Okay, so now that our timer has stopped, we can go ahead and read the results. So I'm going to pull a card search out, and then looking at the test, we can see that the control line is here, but none of the other lines are showing up for the heartworm, Lichia, Lyme, or Anaplasma, so we can say that the Flex 4 did come back all negative. Hi, so today I'm going to demonstrate how to run a PCV test. So what you need for this test is you need a blood sample, you need microhematocrit capillary tubes, and you will also need clay sealant. So when running this test, you're going to take out the tube and you're going to place one side gently over here, and then you're going to want to try to fill it about 3/4 of the way full, which we're going to do now. So we're going to fill it up. And you want to make sure that you don't get any air bubbles in it. Okay, so we have our tube. And then once you fill it up with the blood, you want to pack it with the clay. So you're just going to put it in a few times. And then when running this test, you always want to make sure that you fill another tube with the blood as well, so that it can be centrifuged together so that it's balanced. So next, since we have both our tubes filled, we are going to put it into the centrifuge so it can spin down. So we're going to open up the centrifuge, take the top off, and then when placing the tubes, you want to make sure that you have it balanced and that the clay part of the tube is facing out. Okay, so I'm just going to show you that we have it here and we have it in there and it's all balanced so that we can spin it down. Okay, so then we're going to put the top back on, put the lid down, we're going to turn it on, and we're going to run it for about 2 minutes, and then we're going to come back to it and we're going to read the results. So now that our samples are done spinning in the centrifuge, we're going to take them out and we're going to read them and get our PCV. So we're going to read them on this microhematocrit tube reader, and then when reading it, you want to line up where the blood starts with the bottom line, and then where the plasma kind of stops, you're going to put that towards the top line. So we're going to take out our samples and we're going to get our results.
That's why I got a salad.
So we're taking both of our tubes out. And what's also good about running 2 tubes is that you can double check to make sure that it's accurate. So we're going to close this and we can turn this off now. So that when reading the chart, we're going to line up the blood with the bottom with the 0 and the plasma with the top.
She's never had rabies, huh? So she needs her last puppy shot, and she needs her rabies.
So reading this would be 50. We have the blood right at the 0, and the plasma right at the top line, and you're gonna read where it meets right in the middle, which would be right there, so that's right at the 50 mark. And then we can try this again with our other tube just to make sure that it is accurate. So we're gonna do the same thing. We're just gonna put the chart, the blood right at the 0, and then we're gonna move it along the chart until it gets to the plasma and gets to the top line. So we're right here, right in that line, and then we're gonna meet right in the middle. And once again, we got 50, and that is how you run a PCV test. Okay, so now that we run our PCV, we can do our total protein test. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna break the microhematic capillary tube in half, and we're gonna use the plasma to put onto the refractometer to read it to get the total protein. We're just gonna break that in half. We are going to open this up and put the plasma on there. And we're gonna close it, and we're gonna put it up to the light and read it. Okay, and so the total protein was 7.6, and that is how you do a total protein test.